Avalanche Studios had wanted to make a hunting game for a while. The idea had existed internally for a long time. I mean, our engine is very good for that sort of game, but we didn't actually decide to make this one before our publishing partner, Emote Games, approached us and said, hey, let's do this hunting game together. It is different from other hunting games. It's slow-paced. It's not, you know, some sort of 3D version of Duck Hunt. The idea was to try to simulate real hunting as well as we possibly could. We've had to research animal behaviors, what kind of, you know, environments are relevant, weapons, all of this stuff to try to make it as authentic as possible. We've looked at, you know, weapons ballistics, what kind of weapons are used against what animals, how lesser weapons affect those same animals, you know, what overpowered weapons would do to a smaller animal, that kind of research. Ethical hunting has been a big thing. We've partnered up with Boone and Crockett, which is, should I say, kind of like a club for hunters that have their own, you know, hunting ethics and stuff like that. And we've taken a lot of support from them, and they've helped us a lot with making the game as, you know, authentic as possible, and making sure that, you know, our view of what consists or what actually makes up ethical hunting is in sync with, you know, their view of ethical hunting. As we're simulating animal senses such as, you know, sight and smell and hearing, the environment becomes very relevant. Sight, for instance, is the most obvious one. Our vegetation is very thick. We have very thick foliage, a lot of trees, lots of grass and stuff like that. And that means that, you know, picking out the animals in that environment becomes a challenge in itself. But also, it works in both directions. So if you know the landscape well and you go about hunting the animals in the right way, you'll be able to use the environment to your advantage so that the animals in turn don't see you. Now the HunterMate device is sort of like a combined GPS and tracking device rolled into one. It is a bit sci-fi. I mean, it does have some, you know, magical skills. It can do some stuff that, you know, you can't really imagine an electronic device doing. But it also is an abstraction of, you know, player capabilities. So we're supposed to, the idea is for it to replace stuff that you'd otherwise do with other tools in real life, because it becomes very tedious to try to, you know, make all of that stuff work for a computer game. What the HunterMate does, it helps you track animals when you, for instance, find clues in the environment, or you hear an animal call or something. You'll be able to use your HunterMate to identify that clue. We take a lot of help from the hunting community and beta testers who are actually, you know, good hunters, many of them, and, you know, ask them, like, in their experience, which animal relies mostly on which sense. So for instance, for deer, smell is a pretty big factor. If they smell you, they might get spooked for that alone. Whereas, you know, turkey might not really care about smell. There's, you know, that sense is not as strong with them. A big part of the immersion for many players is to be able to hunt in the environment they're used to, with the weapons they're used to using. You know, the shotgun for the situations where that's appropriate, and we have the bolt action rifles and the lever action rifles, and even revolvers. Revolvers are big in America. Bows are in development, so a lot of people go bow hunting. And also, you know, apart from that, we try to, you know, have as much fun as possible with that stuff, because there are quite a bit of unorthodox weapons used in hunting sometimes. And we plan to, like, if we have time and resources for it, of course, we'll look into having as many different weapons as possible. So, you know, as long as people keep playing the game and keep supporting us, we're going to keep adding stuff, try to make everyone happy.